Hi guys, and we are back. Tim's rebooted because Tim was having tech problems. I don't know why that happened. And I've just set the new feed, so we don't know what's going to happen. If you're rejoining us, thank you for rejoining us. We're going to start with a whole new topic.
Yay!
So we don't bore you. Hello, Tim. How are you?
I'm very good, Mark. When I came on earlier, I was looking a bit rough. Now I'm looking a whole lot more perky.
We've just had a nightmare morning. Right.
Actually, I should have had a shave halfway in between goes at this, because otherwise, then that would confuse people. But there you go.
Yeah. So what we were talking about is, in our normal 20-second before we go live, what we're going to talk about, Tim, we both got two new topics, but there were two new topics, both by the same guy. So this is going to be quite interesting. And then what we'll do is we'll revisit what we talked about in the aborted and now deleted live. Right. So
the thing that I was going to talk about, I get a couple of different. I'm part of a kind of like a roundup emails and stuff for different things, and you come across new content and case studies and things like that. So the one which I've come across which is actually quite relevant to something we're going to talk about later on. 912 million blog posts analysed. So it's basically a study done by Backlinko and BuzzSumo and all these kind of folks about what their findings are for what actually what factors like content format, word count, headline correlation, social media shares, and backlinks, what actually matters for ranking factors. So there's quite a few things on the list. I'm only going to share a couple of them. Long form content gets an average of 77.2% more backlinks than short articles. So if you're looking for backlinks, you've just got to write more long form content, or actually just work harder at getting more backlinks for your long form content.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about long form content, you can make it look much longer.
Yeah,
by adding in lots of images, lots of diagrams, lots of information in a visual manner. So don't forget that.
Yeah. Social shares is an interesting one, because whilst it's not necessarily a ranking factor, it's something that we have to consider in today's sort of social age, because that's where most people discover new content is through their social media channels. So social shares, if your content is too long, i.e. exceeding over 2,000 words, social shares reduce. So, which is again quite an interesting statistic based upon 912 million blog posts. What was the other thing I was going to say out of this as well? Whilst I hate writing list posts, it drives me nuts, list posts. But list posts get an average of 218% more shares than how-to posts, and 203% more shares than infographics.
Yeah. So rather than writing how to get all your supplements, here's a list of the supplements you need.
Yeah, pretty much.
You just convert it around that, and at the end, you just come to the same conclusion, which would be what, Tim?
What?
Buy lean greens.
Yeah, ultimately, that's all I want people to do.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's on basically. If you've got a feed, someone keeps on bloody messaging me when we're on. Who is it? Hang on.
Tell them to
Thanks, Kevin. So yeah, rather than what was I saying? Rather than I completely lost my train of thought.
Oh dear.
The one thing you really need to do is, if you have a list of blogs you read, always add Backlinko by Brian Dean on there. I mean, he doesn't publish much. I think he published 5 posts last year.
Yeah.
But they are long, in-depth, and they actually give you probably more information than a course. The guys, we were talking on the aborted one, we'll cover it later. The guys from Authority Hacker, basically use his backlink system in their course, and to sell their sites and to build up their sites. Dave just messaged me saying it's not him messaging me. Oh, you're so funny, you lot. But yeah, so Yeah, follow Backlinko, Brian Dean. His SEO stuff's good. I'm not too keen on his YouTube. He tried to become a YouTube guru recently. The SEO stuff is great. YouTube stuff.
Yeah, I think I don't necessarily I read his articles when they do come out. I look at some of the videos that he does. I think the articles give way more kind of like actionable stuff that you can go away and work with. So
which is a really interesting point, actually. That the actual written content gives you more than watching a video.
Yeah, and I think this one of the things I was going to say. I think this very much depends on the type of people that you're actually going after as well, in terms of who you're trying to attract to your website and ultimately for them to pay you money or buy your products that you're recommending and things like that. It's like I found that, and I was talking to a friend of mine about social media posts that he's creating and emails, and he was saying that his stuff that he's talking about to do with technical exercise related stuff and like showing people how to do certain movements or certain obstacles, because we were talking about the obstacle course racing stuff. So like, people don't really react to that. They really just don't tend to engage. Whenever we post something motivational, the post goes absolutely nuts. And the same with his emails as well. So it depends on like the audience. It's like some people like, certain audiences, certain niches like to have that step-by-step actionable thing to show them how to do the thing. So like your how-tos or your 23 ways to do this kind of, or the one weird trick, type posts. But there's a huge percentage of your audience, or a huge percentage of niches that would actually more appeal to just basically mirroring back to them what their pain points are, mirroring back to them the problems that they've got, mirroring back to them who they are as people, and basically going, we understand you, we get you. By the way, go buy our product; it will help you.
Yeah, it's another good point by Dave. Also, there's me fiddles thing on. Dave also mentioned check out Dan's site, Amp My Content.
Yeah,
it's one of our favorite sites. One of our first interviews as well, wasn't it?
We did. Yeah, one of our first interviews. Yeah.
It's excellent, really, really good. Some really long, in-depth content that gives you everything you want. But that's true, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it depends. So we've been experimenting. We're always experimenting with stuff for Lean Greens, and it's like, I've been experimenting with very long Facebook posts versus very short ones. Been doing more informational ones versus talking about kind of things like, I did a post yesterday. I think it was a picture of a fruit bowl, and it was like, fruit bowl, is that for best intentions or just stuff that you stick into your G&T? And it just went nuts.
Yeah, simple, basic, but people can relate to it.
Yeah, people engage with it, and people go, "Oh, this person understands me. This person gets what we go through on a day-to-day basis." Yes, I'd love to have a bowl of fruit that I'd wade into, and it's my best intentions, but actually, it's just got the lemon and limes and all the other bits and pieces which go in your gin and tonic.
Yeah, that's pretty true. The other article I was going to talk to is actually another Backlinko one. It's all about outreach.
Yeah,
blogger outreach, and this is basically all the top sites you'll see, and the sites that sell for a lot of money. This is how they build their links. Okay, if you go and sell a site, you've got two sites earning 10 grand a month each, and you go and sell them, and you want your $200,000 for them. The one site that uses PBNs and slightly grey hat methods will earn a lot less than the one that use the pure white hat outreach. And this is what Google expects you to do. Now, you got to go and track down influencers and people in your niche and sites that have got lists of the best articles about whatever, and then you message them and you say, would you like to include this? And maybe they will, maybe they won't. You outreach to journalists, like you go to Harrow, help a reporter out, and there's a journalist there who wants an article, got 10 questions that they want answered about paleo, and you've got Paleo site, you go to them and say, I can do this. Here's a couple example of my content. And then they'll give you a link back to your site on the article from the Washington Post or whatever.
See, my biggest issue with outreach is I hate doing it.
Everyone hates doing it. You're not alone. It's the most boring, long-winded thing, which is where tools like Mailshake can really help.
Yeah.
Because you have a whole sequence set up. And if they reply, it will just send another email out. But it's the actual finding people. I am intending fully to hire a VA to do this for me. A VA actually knows because you can write the emails. They don't have to be in contact with your clients. All they're going to do is try and hunt down great sites and great clients. They can spend 4 or 5 hours a week giving you a list. You just input it into Mailshake, and that does all the work for you.
Yeah.
When you finally got somebody hooked and they want to publish one of your articles, or they want a guest, if they don't publish your article or don't link to your article, just say, hey, do you fancy a guest post? Even if they're not asking for guest posts. And then you just send out a decent guest post and you're done. Okay, it might cost you $60, $70 for the guest post, but that's a good quality backlink.
Yeah.
Which is probably worth more than actually buying a backlink from a dodgy site.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I think, we've used, basically we've outsourced stuff in the past like that. So we've outsourced the outreach, and which has worked pretty damn well. We've got a whole bunch of people wanting to, say, for example, review our product and then link back to our site, which is great. The challenge with it is as soon as you stop, and all of you don't get any more backlinks going through. So, we stopped that middle of last year, I think it was.
Yeah.
And, it's one of those things that I know I should be doing more of, certainly for our main business, but to be honest with you, there are other things that I can do that are more worthwhile to us, certainly for our e-commerce business.
Yeah.
Now, if you're running like what we're implying here is for a content site, and you're creating decent quality, like authority kind of type content, absolutely, this is the way that you improve the rankings for it. But don't neglect tools, things like web text tool that we've talked about before, improving the quality of the base SEO of your site. But also, web text tool has various features that allow you to do outreach and figure out who your competitor sites are and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I highly recommend Mailshake. It's really, really good. I mean, there's so many little tools. Like I think it's Email Hunter is another one. Works really well. When you find a site, it will find the email address most of the time of the people. So you need a suite of tools that actually do this for you. So it's a bit costly. It can be costly. I said in the aborted live that the guys who sold their site for between 400,000 and 600,000, 18-month-old site, they spent almost $3,000 a month on content. Okay, so obviously they made a loss to start with.
Yeah.
But they absorbed that. They spent $500 a month on outreach and links, I think, and then $30 a month on hosting. So they put it on a decent host. It seems a lot, but you can actually do a lot of that outreach, a lot of the writing part yourself, the $2,500, $3,000. If you cover the first lot of it yourself, and then when you start to get some money in, put that money into hiring writers, get 1 or 2 good quality writers who know your style. You set up a template. That's a reason for doing the first few articles. You say, I'll find a style that you like. You can then give that to them as a template. They can copy your writing style. It makes it easy, and it all looks like it's the same person writing. And after that, the next bit is the outreach. You've got to do it.
There was something you sent through to me the other day, and you linked it to. It was an article about. I think it was one of the $1 a day kind of strategies on Facebook about trying to basically sort of hack into getting your content, in front of reporters, people within the media industry, so that they discover your stuff. And that's another way of doing it, perhaps, is, there's another way of perhaps getting some backlinks, and also getting exposure for your blog by doing it that way. And that's always my argument when I look at this kind of stuff. I go, okay, so if I'm spending this amount of money on like promotion, okay, well, how about whether would I create my own audience? So, for example, on Facebook, would I, say, for example, if the content is about, I don't know, model trains, would I go onto Facebook and try and build a Facebook page of people who like model trains, so that then, those people would be looking at the article, liking it, and sharing it with other people, and that's how you get your audience. And obviously, that's slightly, it's not as SEO-ish like approach, but it's a way of continually driving new traffic at your blog.
Yeah, I mean, that article was simply you get your best content or something, a message you want to get across about your brand. You write an article, you run an ad, and the target audience of that ad is anybody who works at the Washington Post, anyone who works at the New York Times, anyone who works at CNBC, anyone who works at, well, I was going to say Fox News, and I forget that. Anybody who works in the media. Okay, so newspaper companies and media companies are always looking for content. Okay, because I mean, it's not now just a 32-page newspaper they've got to fill. They've got a 32-page newspaper, rolling news. They've got their website that's got to have like 20, 30 articles a day added to it. So if they see something in their lunchtime that says vitamins are overrated, like drink beer, here's the proof, then it will pique their interest, and they may well reach out to you. They may well put a link to it. So you get really high quality links, and you get known, and it increases your branding. And you do it one more a day.
So here's another topic that I've just thought of. Have you seen the Flat Earth thing on Netflix?
No.
It is brilliant. And it's actually, from a marketing standpoint, it's actually well worth watching. So everybody, if you've got like access to Netflix, it's called Under the Curve. Behind the Curve. Sorry, Behind the Curve. And it's actually a fascinating. It reminds me very much of like the whole internet marketing space over the last 10 years, and the whole, there's different factions within the Flat Earth Society. People who believe that we're in a dome. Some people believe that we're in an infinite space kind of thing, and all this kind of weird and wonderful stuff. Here's the thing: there's parts of it where you're going, they seem like actually pretty normal people, and then they go on about like the whole sort of conspiracy theory stuff, and then you go, no, you're batshit crazy. But it's actually a fascinating view on gurus and what, and why people follow different types of people, and also, how people will follow a certain belief structure. And it's absolutely fascinating for that. Very eye-opening, despite it being a bit batshit crazy. And it just makes you laugh about like the experiments and the sort of how they qualify to themselves that the Earth is actually flat. So, but yeah, well worth watching.
And when you finish that, watch the Fire documentary.
That one. Yeah, those two actually.
The Fire documentary is email marketing at its finest.
Yeah, definitely well worth watching those two.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody else about this yesterday. I was talking to somebody else about this Flat Earth thing yesterday, and it was just it's just a great analogy for the way that the internet marketing crowd has evolved over the last 10 years. Very, very similar kind of thing. Why are you like staring at my crotch? Oh, right, okay.
We got a guest on today.
You got a pussy on your lap.
Yeah, well, I wish. Yeah, I hate cats, by the way.
Yeah.
You hear that? I hate cats.
Aw. Poor little Mog.
You don't like him either.
I have a cat. Just lives with my mother-in-law.
Evil. Look, he's just looking at me. Looking at us. Look. He's working out how to kill us. Hello, Uncle Tim. Look, there's Uncle Tim. Yeah, not interested. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, those two documentaries are well worth watching. You can take a lot of lessons in marketing. That's supposed to be talking about marketing rather than Netflix, aren't we?
Well, no, it's actually it's well worth watching from a marketing standpoint. There's there's a few other documentaries which you've been watching recently. There's one on bull riding in the US, which again is fascinating about how certain people, how somebody's identity is built up around, being part of a community of other people in bull riding. And it's such it's fascinating stuff, and it's all about communities. It's all about like how you engage with people, how you grow your audience, how email marketing, the whole lot. It's gurus. It really is well worth watching some of that stuff.
Actually, believe it or not, one of the best days I've ever had in my life was at the final of the World Bull Riding Championships in Laughlin in Nevada many years ago, and we got invited to their end of season rodeo barbecue at the end of the rodeo. It was brilliant. Those guys are the hardest guys I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, they're brutal. Like they really do. Like
an ounce of fat on them. It's just muscle and tendons.
It's like the right arm or the left arm, whichever one they're holding onto the bull. It's like forearms like this. So
yeah, really interesting. Right, so Umbrella Academy as well. Watch it. It's awesome.
I haven't seen that yet. That's the next one.
Any TV place that has a fight scene with the Bay City Rollers playing in the background is okay. Yeah, great music. Right, so anyway, back to marketing. What we're going to be doing hang on, let me get the banner up first. If you haven't joined a free group yet, join a free group. Tim's posted an article in there. Here comes the dog. Tim's posted an article in there about what it takes to actually build an e-commerce business today. And you'll find lots of other articles about different things that we are doing at the moment. In fact, you just let the dog in, did you?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
I can do this. Give me 2 seconds. Chrome tab.
So the article I've just posted this morning is all about starting an e-commerce business. And this is all about. It's not necessarily about the tools either. There's some stuff about tools on there, and without feeling like I'm repeating myself from like our failed chat earlier. Basically, I gave the 3 essential steps or 3 essential things that you need to actually get going with an e-commerce business. Because surprisingly, I had quite a few. I say surprisingly, quite a few people have been asking about it recently. And there's, it's very, 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 very simple actually. And this is the thing that probably surprises a lot of people is like, I'm not really into sort of, a certain particular technology or Amazon or got to set up Shopify or got to go and do this, that, and the other. There's really only a couple of things you need. One is an audience. And it's the same for like whether you're running an internet marketing business, an information marketing business, or info business, whether you're selling a physical product, you essentially need an audience. And I know our good friend Peter, one of our top members in SMO, talks about a pocket of people, which is essentially what you're looking to do is to build a following, or build a community, build an audience of people who have a shared set of values, a shared pain point, a shared whatever it might be, and your products are essentially the solution to, or helping somebody on the way to the result that they're looking for. And that's basically what you need to start with, is just the audience. I put in the article a couple of very simple of my rules of how you actually find the right products, what type of products you have. And for me, I have a bare minimum of the product must be at least £20 retail price. It must have a minimum, absolute minimum of a 100% markup on the cost of goods. And yeah. And I'm when I say 100% markup, I'm looking at least 100% as the absolute bare minimum, and more likely 150 or even 200% plus markup. because then that gives you space to do marketing. And I'm always looking for products that have a natural recurring element to them, or have a reason why somebody would come back and buy more. But when it comes to technology, the only thing that you really care about with technology is having the ability to process a transaction. A lot of people kind of get sort of drawn into thinking, oh, I've got to be on Amazon, or I've got to have a Shopify store. And actually, all you need is some way for somebody to place an order. And that can be through a simple PayPal link. So don't get hung up on the stuff. Have a look at the article anyway. Say it's about about 5-minute read, something like that. Very, it'll just get you started on that. If you're interested in starting an e-commerce business, don't start with, oh, I've got an idea for a product, and then you go and find somebody to sell it to. No, start with the audience and then go from there. But yeah, take a look at the article.
Yeah, I mean, you can see on the screen basically the inside of the free group, and you've got 2 getting started posts there, how to get started in there. Then you've got Tim's article there, one I wrote yesterday about how you basically take good content and you can generate 200,000 or mid 6 figures, as happened this week. And that's in a short period of time. 3 automations you must have. Email automations basically make your life so much easier, keeps your list clean, and does all the donkey work in the background. This is the 5K business model. It's affiliate marketing strategies, affiliate marketing, and how to choose your affiliate marketing products. That's just some of the ones on the screen there now. Some posts. You can ask any questions you want. Just go in there. One of the options there is you can make a post, you can ask a question, you can create a poll, you can create an article if you want. We've opened up the articles to other people if they want to add value. And that's it. And then left-hand side, under the groups, we'll go there now quickly so you can see. Under the groups, we have our Serious Marketers Pro. That's for paid members. We've got courses. This is the SMO Pro one. This is for the $0 to $200,000 business model. Then for everyone, we got the Power Hour. That's basically the process I use every morning to get so much work done and set the day up. It takes 1 hour, gets most of the work out of the way. Right, and we'll be adding more courses as and when people request them, because we're good like that. So if you just go home.
Take me home.
Comes in over time during the day. It's I cannot say how much better it is than Facebook.
Yeah, it's a much cleaner environment.
What really matters.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this, the link is below. Come and join us. It is a breath of fresh air from Facebook. You don't get to track all the toxic crap on the other end.
Yeah, I think a lot of our long-term members of SMO and also of our free Facebook group, original free Facebook group, they're enjoying this community a lot more because there's less distraction. People can just drop in, get their sort of daily hit of stuff and then exit out again. And it's like there's no distraction of any of the other nonsense.
We try to post at least one useful bit of marketing advice. Try to do the sort of stuff that you normally would pay for. That's it. Anything else, Tim?
I think that's it for today. I think we're talked out now because we messed up royally the first one today. But hopefully that the Friday thing we delivered.
Yeah, hopefully. So that's if anyone. Hang on.
Any questions?
This is actually on our reading list, isn't it?
Oh yes. Now.
Oh God, I have to set out the SMO reading list today.
So to respond to Dave's thing on the question that he's put, or the point he's put up, if you sell anything, check out the book Profit First. Now, Profit First, I've been following Profit First protocols for around about 18 months now, and it's saved our ass on so many occasions. Basically, having the ability. Previously, what would happen is we would get to the end of the quarter or get to the end of January and get to January and our corporation tax would be due, or get to the end of the quarter and our VAT would be due and we wouldn't have the money. Now we've been following profit first. We have all of our all the money that we require to pay to the taxman available to us, and normally more left over. Plus, we also always have a pot of money of our profit account where we stick a certain percentage every single week. We stick in a certain percentage of our gross income goes into the profit account. We get to the end of the quarter, we can then do a proper dividend like a proper company, and we actually have like money coming in, which is great.
To buy a new bike every quarter.
Well, yes, no, we try not to use it for those purposes, but it helps us things like put a deposit down on a house, which we would never have been able to do. Practical things, but also it makes you feel like actually, your business is making money for you, which is ultimately the end purpose. So profit first, definitely recommend it. It's quite Americanized in the way that it talks about certain things, but it's easily adapted to UK, EU kind of thing as well. As long as you understand your own tax obligations and all that kind of stuff, then it's easy to do. It's basically setting up multiple bank accounts so you can put
what I will do is if it's available in the SMO Book Club site we've got, I will add it there today. And actually, I'll open up the SMO Book Club to anybody in the foundation group as well. So it's not just going to be a pro thing, it'll be the foundation and the pro. I mean, then we can start some discussions on it in there. Much easier than then Facebook, where you go to try and find a thread and it's gone.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Right. That's it, I think. We finally managed it.
Yay!
All the tech problems. I'm now getting mauled by a cat down here.
Because I can't see, looks like you're stroking like your crotch.
What, like normal? Like when we're normally on? It's the cat. Or now's I'm going to call him the excuse. Right, before we get into more trouble, we have Mary Whitehouse coming after us, and none of the Americans listening knows who Mary Whitehouse is.
No, they don't know, not at all.
In fact, anybody under the age of 50 doesn't know who Mary Whitehouse is. Right, that's it, mate. Speak to you later, guys.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Cheers.